welcome to the Almost 30 podcast.
Welcome to Almost 30. You don't need to be 30, any age. We're here for you.
We prefer ageless people.
Yeah, we prefer ageless. We prefer spirits and souls.
Yeah,
truly. Oh my God, that was, yeah, oh my gosh. So we were, my name's Krista and this is Lindsey, first of all. So welcome. We've been doing this for a long time, but we're really happy to have you, especially if you're from the GGE, especially if you're a snack head.
Yeah, snack head.
I'm a snack head, baby. We were at doing that Reiki sound bowl with our members. So we have a membership at Almost 30 and we got to meet up with some of our members, and Crystal was there, and Crystal's a psychic medium, one of our members. And this woman walked by and was like, "Thank you so much for talking to my mom. She's, was so glad to talk to you." And when I came in, Crystal was talking to people, but I didn't even really realize. I was like, "Oh my God, did her mom pass? And you were talking to her spirit?" And everyone's like, "No, her mom was the woman behind her." It was weird that my first thought was that it was a dead person. I literally was like, I was like, "What did her mom's spirit tell you?" They're like, "Is that really how you operate? Where you assume it's a dead person before it's an alive person?" I was like, "Yes, actually, I thought it really was."
Dude, our minds are crazy. They just
unreal. I was like, "Wow, that is very special of me."
That's quick. But kind of smart.
Kind of smart. I was like, "Wow, what kind of message from the other side did you receive? What did you hear?"
Oh, she's such a peanut. And then we ran into her the next day, and
she was gliding on the sidewalk.
Yeah, she's just such a little light. But she's like, "I always get angry after Reiki, and then I have to walk it off." Yes. So sweet.
Yeah, she's like, "I woke up really angry." I was like, "Wow, I love that."
The awareness is very key.
Yeah, 100%. There's something really endearing about people that are feeling angry or that can acknowledge. It's even when you're a kid, you're like, "I feel mad."
Yes.
It's so endearing.
Sean and I went to visit our friends who have a kid, and their little baby, I think he's 1.5. And we walk in, he goes, "I'm grumpy." Oh. We were like, good to know. It's clear.
Yeah.
We know we can't cross you right now. It's all good. I'm grumpy.
Oh.
I told Sean, I was like, I think I'm gonna start saying that when I'm in a bad mood. I'm just grumpy.
Oh, 100%.
Get away from me. I'm grumpy.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you just wake up a little off or a little grumpy. But I was thinking the other day, so Justin, my husband, and I are going to couples therapy. And I was we were laughing before therapy because I'm like, "You should feel free to bring up something about me that bothers you." Yes. I'm like, "Now's your chance."
Let me boss you around.
I was like, if you got some beef with me, you want to bring up, if you got something you hate about me, you can bring it up. Because he's never, ever says anything, or not, just even when we're fighting, he's always just mad about me being mad, never at me for anything. And so we got into the thing, and he was kind of joking. She's like, "So you guys have been away from each other for 2 weeks?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "After a few days, unlike normal women who get missed and they feel sad," he's like, "she gets cranky and she gets mad at me." And it is true, when we're too far apart, for too long, I'm just annoyed. So I'm not cranky, but then we spent 20 minutes talking about a joke. We were literally joking. And I was like, "God, we're breaking apart. We're dissecting this literal joke." I had to stop. I was like, "Wait, I need to know if this is
I'm paying a lot for this.
Really a problem for you, because if it is, we can work on it. But I think we're going down a road that doesn't need to be explored."
Yes. It's interesting, being apart from each other. It's you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do small talk. So when we talk, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is that how it feels, or what is the?
I don't know. It was weird too, because then I'm exploring this feeling that I don't think I have. And then I'm thinking about, I'm like, do I get mad? And I really don't. I think I'm just saying I don't know. He was because we started to go down. He's like, "Well, you get mad if I don't answer your call." I'm like, "That's not true." We've been together for 10 years. How many times has he answered when I've called? One of 40.
Yeah.
Literally one of 40. It's because I always FaceTime him, and he doesn't want to be on FaceTime in public because I'll spin him around. He's like, "You can't spin me around and make me talk to people." So he never answers anyway. But I was like, do I get mad? I think I'm kidding. I don't know. It was weird though.
Totally.
It was a weird thing, because I'm like, I want to be open that that's possible, but I don't think that happens. I don't know.
I love making shit up in therapy where all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I have this problem where, and it's like really not a problem.
Yes.
I'm like, let me tell you something about me that I'm like all of a sudden just hypercritical of because I'm in therapy.
Yes, she was like 2 weeks ago at my personal therapist. She was saying like, after like 10 minutes, I was like saying a bunch of shit. She's like, you're very interesting today. I was like, it's because I'm like saying things that I'm avoiding what I want to talk about.
Yes.
So I was just saying bullshit. I was like, nah, and I was like, well, I'm avoiding what I really should be talking about. She's like, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, sometimes I come in and I just feel like my head's gonna roll right down the hallway because it's like you're going so fast.
Yes.
I feel like I need to update you on the last 2 weeks. But like we can just get to it.
I know.
And they can ask questions to learn
the
more.
Updates. I know. Sometimes I'm like, why am I spending time on updates?
I'm like, this delivery was late and I was pissed.
Yes. It's like, well, I did this and blah, blah, blah. I did this and
yeah, this ain't a friend. This is therapy.
Yeah, honestly. But there is something. I do feel like I have to warm up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like, I got to kind of ease into this.
What I've been doing is setting my intention with her at the beginning. My intention for this session is because I know sometimes going into it that I'm just going to be like, and I'm like, okay, my intention for this is this. I might need to give you some information and chat a little bit, but like, this is my intention. If something else comes up, cool. But it helps me ground because otherwise I'm just flying, you know. Anywho, dude, we've been taking so many Ubers, which, by the way, expensive here in the city.
Dude. I was like looking at our credit card. I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
And, yeah, you just forget because we walk a lot normally, but if we're like having to get somewhere and it's a little far, but you forget one, if you don't watch or listen to the news any other time, you're gonna listen to it in the Uber.
Dude.
What were we were listening to like
talk radio.
WNY something, and they were taking callers, which I forgot that's something you do. Yes. You take callers. And we recently had flooding here in New York and New Jersey, and it was really serious, quite alarming that like you saw pictures. I was out of town, but you see pictures of like Sohos in 3 feet of water. Wow. It's like very bizarre. But anyway, they were focusing on basements.
Yeah, the basements were flooding. And this mom called. She's like, hi, my name's Kathy, and my daughter lives in a basement that floods. And then he was like, oh, what's it like? And then she was like, well, you know, there's little windows. They don't open, blah, blah, blah. And going on, describing her daughter's basement.
And my husband thinks, you know, the mold and the moisture. It was just like,
detailed.
TMI.
Detailed for 5 minutes. Also, like, help your daughter out. Yeah. Get off the phone.
The guy was like, so your daughter's living with you now, I assume. She's like, no, she's staying with some she's staying with friends. I was like, okay.
Okay.
So does she know you're calling right now?
Exactly. She's like, Mom, don't call the news again about my basement apartment.
I wonder where
our whole car ride was 35 minutes, and the whole time we were talking about that. It was talking about that.
Yeah. They're like, Dave's coming on to talk about his basement in Harlem.
Yeah, renovation business. And then Dave comes on. He's like, I've been doing it illegal since I started. If people pay me in checks or credit card, I can't accept it. Cash only. I'm building houses out of basements. You're like,
I'd like to remain anonymous.
Yes, that's what he said. He's like, I want to remain anonymous. He said, they keep forcing me. Only do this with cash.
Dude, it's weird.
It sounded like he had an awakening, though, at the end. He's like, I couldn't do it anymore. He's like, as soon as I got priced out of my Brooklyn house, I realized I can't do this anymore. And then he stopped doing it.
You forget.
Oh, but we were talking to Mama Medicine, one of our friends, Deborah, who said that her first place was actually in a basement.
Yes.
And it flooded Queens. A lot in Queens. And
mold.
The mold, dude.
Yeah, that scares the shit
scary.
out of me.
Well, that's the real problem.
My
is
fear
like
is
the housing
mold.
Issue and affordability of housing. And that's really where all the basement living, for the most part, comes in, is because people can't afford, to have places outside of it. But yeah, it was just like a weird thing to be like talking about it for so long, and just kind of like, you're like, wow, I can't believe that would happen. And it's like, what are we going to do about it?
They're like, Newt, how was your segment on basements?
Honestly.
He's like, it was crazy. I had 3.
Honestly. I was like, dude, and this news is running all day long.
I just love to think about the person who's listening and they're like, all right, we're taking callers who have basements. And they're like, fuck yeah. Okay.
She's like, I don't, but my daughter does. And the husband's like, Deb, shut the fuck up. He's like, God, he's like, she keeps calling. He's like saying other stuff. It's like she calls the next day. She's like, my daughter also does this. They're like, is it you again? Are you going to call us again?
She's like, no, it's Fran.
Yeah, honestly. I've got a lot of kids.
Holy moly.
The question at the end, so I assume your daughter's living with you. And she's like, no, I think she's with friends, was unbelievable. I'm going to use this for my 15 minutes of fame to call the news.
Call your daughter.
And describe my daughter's flooded house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man, I was reminded of the news. I was like, wow, this is just...
And just radio, like live radio.
Yes.
You know?
It's so dying.
Yeah, podcasting is the new.
Yeah.
The new.
This is where you get your news.
Yeah.
This is where you stay up on the world.
Your inner news.
Yeah, honestly. Almost 30 is all about the geopolitical climate. We're actually here to tell you about the world and how it's changing.
And tell you what to
especially
believe.
with this episode with Ash and Raina.
Yes. Oh, man. It was so good to catch up with them. And Krista's here in New York. And so we were able to see Ash and Raina from Girls Gotta Eat. I'm sure a lot of you are Girls Gotta Eat fans, and if you aren't yet, you will be after this episode. They're just a true delight. They've been doing this for about 4 years and have just built such a huge loyal following. I loved hearing them talk about their fans and how they're just like ours in a way where it's like they meet up, they like take care of each other, they support one another. And I just love hanging out with them. We went to their studio in Manhattan. It was just so cool to see.
And they were on our show probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago now. They came on Almost 30. And when they came, we did it at that house or the apartment that Sonder and I had gotten engaged that weekend. Right. So that was that time in October we were on tour.
Yes.
It was like on tour, 2019 or something.
Uh-huh.
We did our New York show with Heather McMahon, which was so amazing. But yeah, Ash and Raina are just super hardworking, super professional, but super cool and warm on the other side. And in this conversation, it's just like casual catch up with girls. Yes. We talked about the DMs that they get the most from their fans. Ash told a funny story. We talked about Raina's new boyfriend and just sort of caught up. And then we were also on their show. So you can definitely listen to us on their show. It was released, I think, in September. So it is out now for you to listen to after this. And Girls Gotta Eat has tons of merch. They go on tour. They have really, really exciting tour dates. And their tour is like so much fun. So definitely get into that and then also get into the pod.
Yeah, girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. If you want to catch them on tour, their shows are dope. They really pour everything into their shows, and they're so creative and high energy and funny. So check them out. Check out their podcast, Girls Gotta Eat. And yeah, thank you girls for being on the show. We love you so much. And it's just nice to support and just be friends, true friends. I feel like sometimes people see like girl duos and they're like, damn, they're enemies.
Yeah,
and
honestly.
they hate each other.
I got like 40 DMs when I shared that picture of us.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my favorites.
I know.
Like,
yeah,
yes.
I love them. But thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. And check out our other episodes if you're new to the podcast. We run the gamut, y'all. We talk about spirituality and health and wellness and self-development and, insert some laughs and inspo in there too. We have a bunch of solo episodes with myself and Krista separately, and then sometimes together with our Ask Us Anything episodes. So dig in. We appreciate you. Follow us on Instagram, Almost 30 Podcast. I'm at Lindsey Simcik.
And my Instagram is at It's Krista.
We love y'all.
We love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Hey, let's go.
Guys, we're back with GGE, the crossover that we know you loved when you first came on the pod, dude. Your community's the best.
Thank you.
Obsessed.
Truly blew up.
Yeah, it truly blew up. They love you so much. And so many of our girls listen to you, and it just felt so good. And it's one of those things where it's like in our space, it feels like you should be competitive with people, but you guys are so real and cool and doing things for the right reasons and like truly care about people that listen. And just like we respect you so much. And so we're so glad to have you back.
Yeah, truly.
Good. We're so glad to be here. We had such a blast with you the first time. Everything in your lives have changed since we saw you.
Yeah.
We're new people.
Yes.
Allow us to reintroduce.
I was looking I made this video with Lindsay's birthday when we're recording, and I made this video of us and I was like, damn, I thought we've changed recently, but I was like, wow, we've changed so much, dude.
so much. How have you guys, I mean, you've been together for so long. Like, what is the most like palpable change? It could be anything.
Yes.
As a person, I mean, I think that we've been together for 4 years. Our anniversary actually is coming up on October 9th.
What's your anniversary? The launch date?
The day that we met.
Okay,
the day
perfect.
that we
Cute.
met on a beach in Aruba on October 9th at a beachside
What?
dinner.
Really?
Yeah, it was an influencer trip.
Yeah. We like people ask about the origin story and we're like, okay, like it's so douchey. But we met on this influencer trip in Aruba, like toes in the sand.
I love that.
I think that we are very fortunate on this show to have basically dedicated our careers to learning about love and the way that we experience love and personal relationships, romantic relationships. And we've had so many phenomenal people on the show every week, from authors, psychiatrists, comedians, people like you guys, other podcasters. And it's just completely changed my life in terms of what I expect and from myself and from romantic partners and friends and things like that. And so for anything, it's just helped me to be a better person, relax a little more, figure out what I want and what I deserve and what other people deserve.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like my life, I'm different. But like,
Yes.
I mean,
And you
I was getting all
achieved
like
a
deep and
boyfriend.
flowery. I'm like, you have a boyfriend now. You were single last time.
yeah, I'm always in these streets having sex. So like, I'm just having sex with one person now.
I don't know. I mean, I think we all came out of, well, I guess we're technically still in the pandemic, but came out of COVID, especially the height of it, just like more compassionate and understanding. And like, I think just I'm not that I thought it was like an asshole before, but I'm way less of an asshole now. Just we had to like learn so much more patience and just like our lives just stopped. It was awful. It was terrible. And nothing even that terrible happened to us. We're still living. We still have our health. We still have our jobs. We had it really good. And I just think everybody should have became a better person throughout everything that happened in 2020.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because like a lot of people, it's like when you're in fear, you're not as good of a person.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like for a lot of people, it's like being in a constant fear state, it's like doesn't make you better a lot of times, which is hard. But do you guys feel like, I feel like this sometimes with the podcast, it's like because you have so many guests on and there's so much information, do you feel like overwhelmed sometimes? Like I feel like I need to watch the stupidest shit after we interview because I'm just like, I need to like have a moment of like getting so much information.
I don't know. I feel overwhelmed with like the amount of stuff we have going on and like on our plate. And so, and it's, it's funny that you said that because I saw this meme. I don't even remember who it was, somebody I follow, I guess. And it said something like, you're not overwhelmed. You're just lazy?
You're like lazy or something.
Lazy?
I love that.
Like,
it's like a really condescending.
It was even worse. It was
like you're like
You're a
lazy.
piece
You're
of
not
shit.
trying hard or something.
I really remember.
Fuck
God,
you.
what was it? It was like lazy and
unmotivated
or something. Yes, or something like that. I was like, what? Some of us are just really working
Dude,
hard.
someone posted that thinking it was inspiration.
And she's a self-help person.
Yeah, it was like
Wow.
kind of you're right. It was kind of a person that like I sent it to Raina, so Raina
coachy.
remembers more than me. But I was like, what? Because like it was, and for me, I don't get triggered or insulted by things that don't apply to me. So I felt overwhelmed today. Guess what? I'm not lazy and unmotivated.
Yeah.
I'm just working really fucking hard. We have a lot on our plate. So I just kind of like laughed, but also was like, that's a really shitty message to
Damn,
send
I don't know what that person's
Literally.
self-talk
the
is.
world.
Do you know what I mean? Where they're like, yeah, well, you're a lazy piece of shit. Like, it's kind of funny when like memes turn. You're like, oh, this meme is going to make me feel good. And then it's like, yeah, but you're a fucking loser. You're
It
just
was yes, I felt like it was supposed to be inspirational. It was just bonkers,
I
but
fucking love that.
I feel like you and I
hustle
live in a
culture.
constant state of Ashley going, we just have so much to do. I don't know how we're, and me going, Ashley, we always get a ton. We get everything done. And that's why she and I are like really good business partners. I think that like we complement each other really well. We both work really hard. And it's just so funny because we live in a constant state of that conversation.
it's just a lot. Like we've taken on a lot. We have this whole thing. We're like kind of started a new thing. We can talk about it offline. We haven't really discussed. We're not talking about it quite yet on what we're doing. And then on top of it, I'm a stand-up comedian like most nights. Like I just it's just a lot. And I really like to stay busy, and I feel like it's I always forget this word. Like something in motion stays in motion. What is it?
Oh,
body
this word.
emotion?
Isn't that like Einstein?
Body
Like an
motion
object
stays
in
in
motion?
Is it just like momentum? Like
Momentum,
if I just
yes.
keep going.
Gravity?
Yeah. Gravity.
Fibonacci?
I'm a flat earther. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I like to be busy, but you have to self-care and like stop, or you'll also just get sick.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like if you slow down, if you take care of yourself, shit will hit the fan? Or what is the feeling around that?
Not really, but like, because I'll just make sure it gets done, I guess. So it's not really that. And we have an assistant now, and we have a great like team of people that we work with. But I was just kind of like, usually our lives are like, we see kind of an end in sight, or we see a break or a vacation. And I just don't see it right now, which is fine. I'll maybe 6 months from now, but like, it just feels like that's when I start to get I'll get like sad, and like, I don't like to use the word depressed lightly, but when I'm feeling really low, it's an overwhelming that I'm not going to get everything done. And I've been like that since like since college, when I felt like I had papers due and tests, like I would start to get like sad and like upset feeling. And it's just being overwhelmed, and you have to like figure out how to get it all done. And luckily I have a great business partner, and we have a team of people, but that is where my, like, I guess it's more anxiety.
Yeah.
But anxiety and depression comes from is this feeling of like, there's too much. I can't get it all done. I'm not enjoying this life I built for myself. So let's figure out how to do this.
Yeah, I think it is. It's like you build a life and you're like, oh my God, we love to do it. Like we can relate. It's like, I loved doing this. This is the best. And then you're like in the day to day, and it's like, oh wait, I'm doing a lot of things I don't love. Like, and a lot of part of it is stuff that you don't love. And like, it's like you started with this passion and love for the show, and then you build it, and then you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have so much to do. There's so much of stuff that's not related to the thing that I originally loved in a business. And you're like, whoa, like for us, it's like people management, team stuff like that. It's like, whoa, this is not like what I signed up for.
But also like, we have money to have people do this, but you have to find the right people.
Yeah.
Like that's like a first world problem, but I'm saying like, you can have people take it off your plate, but you really have to like let them in, and then who can
trust
you trust?
them to do
it.
Yeah.
I was over here like, wait, is this about me?
I know, honestly. I know. I always want to like preface like,
ears.
team, it's not you.
But she knows a lot now.
Yeah, she knows too much, Bella.
Yes.
Okay. I think that self-care is really different for everybody. And I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but to me, self-care is making sure that we are on top of our shit all the time. And I'm not one of those people that's just like, I'm going to take a vacation for 3 days and I'll do my emails after that. Like, I like waking up in the morning and answering emails. I enjoy that. I do it on Saturdays and Sundays. I like that we have all of our ducks in a row. And I think our lives are really enjoyable. And it is about just adding certain things to make that more manageable. I am off my phone every night by like 11:15. I go to sleep early. I wake up in the morning before I start texting. I like to just clear on my emails. That makes me feel good. I take a walk. So I like working. We like working.
Sleep early is like 9.
9?
Yes, babe. I'm in bed at 9. You're like, I'm off the phone 11:15. I'm like, I'm in
I
REM,
think Krista and I were alike, and we are not.
You guys
at
are
all.
not.
What time are you in bed?
Ashley runs the business from like 11 p.m. to
I start
4
office
a.m.
hours at 11 p.m. No to 2. No, I'm I've always been a night owl, so I'm
My
not
husband's
trying
like
to
that
change
too.
that. So
Yeah.
this is going to sound crazy to you.
No, my husband's like that too.
You're gonna
He's like,
think
his
I'm
whole life is like, people can be night owls. And I'm like, okay.
But so I'm just going to say it, just nobody react. But my dream is that I go to bed at 1 and I wake up at 9. And that's what I'm striving towards.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
But it sounds crazy to people that they're like 1 a.m. Like Krista's like, what are you talking
No,
about?
1 a.m. I'm like,
But I just,
dreamland.
that should be attainable. But
Absolutely. And especially when you run a business, you can set it up like that.
Yeah,
Which is nice.
But we were starting to hit a point right before the pandemic started where we were in Australia and we were running around. We were doing all these tours, and I was really starting to feel like, do we ever get a minute to enjoy ourselves? It's on a plane, it's land, check into a hotel, do a live show, wake up in the morning, have a meeting, answer all of our emails, and we were starting to feel like, do we ever get to enjoy this? And so it's okay to acknowledge that and say I'm overwhelmed and try to build a team around you that can help you.
But then it's also like really fucking fun. So it's not even complaining, because you're like, yeah, but we're in like this beautiful place, and you know what I mean? So it's kind of like figuring out, it's certainly not it's just figuring out the balance.
Yes.
I mean, you guys feel like self-care, wellness pros.
Yeah, but we had
like,
to learn. I mean, tour is no joke.
Yes.
Tour is the best, and it's no joke. Like I think what it taught me is like, how do I conserve my energy for something that is so important to us, which is like, obviously getting on stage, but then also like meeting people, being present for people after the show or before the show.
Dude, you learn so much.
And it's just crazy. And so I think that's where like the self-care piece, like we were like slammed in the face. We're like, whoa, like sleep is so important. How we nourish our bodies is so important. Like all the buzzwords that you hear is they're actually so important.
And that feeling of being on is like a vibe. Like it's like, you know, and especially too with your own tour, I don't know if you felt this way, but like for us, it's like you'd be places and you don't know if, not like people know you, but it's just like, you always have to be aware of like how you want to make people feel. Like in my community, I always want people to feel like I'm the same person that I'm on the pod and that they feel seen and heard and all these things. So it's like, you feel like you always, it's not performative, but it's like you just want them to have an amazing experience.
Yes.
From if they see you in the parking lot to the show to everything. So it's kind of like this air of like wanting that so bad, and it just can be overwhelming where you're like, oh, I just can't be, even though they want you to be, they want you to just be, but you feel like, or I felt like I couldn't just like be, I want everyone to have like the best experience ever. So it felt really like I was just like giving so much.
Oh, it's like I've never, my nightmare is that someone said they met me and I wasn't nice or something. And it's not because it'll never happen because it's like, I don't think that would happen because it's not who I am. I really love meeting people, but like I did a stand-up show recently and I was in my head. I didn't think I did that well. I ended up feeling better about it after I watched the tape back, but like it was kind of in my hometown and like my whole family was there and all my friends were there and like to get off stage and I just got like ambushed by fans, which is fine. But like, my family was there, my friends were there. They wanted pictures and I didn't feel good about myself. So I was like, having a meltdown. And I was like, I need to like get away from everybody, but I don't want them to, like, people came here to see me and they want to meet me and they want pictures. And like, I don't want them to think I'm a bitch. And you know, you come see me most nights at the Comedy Club in New York at the Stand. And like, I'm just doing like a meet and greet after I take pictures of everybody. I say hi to everybody. I hug people. I'm just like, tell me about your life. Like that's my natural self. But in a moment where I didn't feel good about myself and my performance, I was like melting down. And then everybody kind of like wants a piece of you. And you're like, but I want to see my family. Like and it's no shade to any of them. Like it was just like, you have to, it can be a lot. It can feel like a lot. That was like the first time I felt like that, but probably ever. Like I'm always really happy if, people always come up, they want to talk, they want pictures. It's like an honor. Like I never want to be a person that doesn't like that. I feel like I saw a comedian that I'm really a fan of on the street and I had seen him perform recently and I just literally just said, hey, I saw you recently, great show. I didn't ask for a photo. I didn't interrupt him. And, he was walking with somebody else. I felt like I was being pretty chill about it. I was acting how I would act on the street if somebody came up to me and he was like so nasty to me. And it just was like,
oh my gosh.
How do you get to this place?
Wow.
Like, I guess you just get burned
guys,
enough.
it's like, guys are like, whatever, he's a dick. It says like stick. But like for a woman, it's like if you were a bitch, it would be like the end of you.
Yes, it's my nightmare that we like walk into a venue and that the staff like doesn't like us or something. We try to be like, we're so hyper organized.
Yes.
We have runs of shows. We have all the tracks labeled, we have everything. And I just want everybody to think that we're like professional and that we do a good job. I want everybody to have a really positive experience with us. But also through this podcast, I've learned on the other side of things that like, I just try to like really be the best person in the world. If you don't like me, like that's okay too. I know that I show up and I respect people always and I try to see every side of everything. And if you listen to my show and you don't love everything that comes out of my mouth, that's okay too. Nothing like we say like, if I don't think something, my beliefs are not an attack on your beliefs. So like I use like weddings as an example. I think weddings are fucking stupid. I wouldn't spend a fortune and bankrupt myself over it. If you want to do that, then I think that's amazing. And I love going to weddings.
And I'll come to your fucking wedding and get drunk and dance. And it's going to be like that wedding was fucking lit. Like I wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't have done it. But just because I think or believe something, it's not an attack on what you think and believe. Something's right for me. I am a different socioeconomic situation than you are. I'm a different financial situation you are. I'm a different gender, whatever the fuck. But I just try to be a good person. If you don't fucking like me, I can't help you.
It's liberating.
It is liberating. I mean, you just have to let people talk shit on you on the internet for years, and then you get there.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like it does take kind of that learning and that experience of like caring so much. And then I feel like it got to the point, I still care sometimes, but like you get to the point where you're like, I'm fucking tired. I'm so tired of like caring about every little comment and feeling like that says something about who I am. like at my core.
And most comments are really positive. And yeah,
Yes,
it's
of
mostly really nice people.
course.
But I'm human, and it is going to always cut me a little bit if somebody's like, you look fucking ugly today, you know? But then you just move on from
I mean,
it.
we have it pretty good, and I think that's. Feel like you guys probably do too. Is in comparison to some other people, but so I feel like that's because we're just good people and we try to do the right thing. But you know, we're not getting like trolled incessantly. It's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. No one's safe. I don't think you can. You know, people would troll Mother Teresa if she was on Instagram, but I just kind of. It's a lot of like mental gymnastics and like self-talk of how so we don't read reviews on iTunes. Like I feel lucky that I have the self-control and just I don't want to read bad things about myself. Like situations where we've kind of had to go in there and see some things or people are saying, I would rather have someone else look at it, and I don't want to look. So I actually protect my own self. Like some people have to, and I feel for them because they can't get to that point of like the self-control or whatever it takes to not need to look, and it can ruin your life.
Yes.
Like people like are ruined by what people say about them on the internet. They like stop doing what they're doing. You can tell it's like eating away at them. So there's so much that I've learned throughout the years of how to treat these things, that these things don't matter. And like, I'm kind of at the point of like, I don't anticipate some sort of crazy misstep because I don't hold like racist, you know, terrible values. So that's not going to come out of my mouth because it's not who I am. But like, we're going to say things that people don't like. And like, I mean, it happened yesterday, and it's just, I've had to tell Raina that I'm like, if it's just some joke you didn't like, I don't give a fuck. If it's not some cancelable offense, it's not some terrible thing, because it's probably not going to be, because that's not how I feel, then I can't. You're not going to please everybody. Like the amount of people that listen to our show, that listen to your show, we try to be funny. We're working comedy. You're going to say something that people don't like. Always.
Yes.
And with women, there's like I keep bringing that up, but it's so true. Like, especially in comedy, like the leash is so short. Like for men, it's like men can say whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like all good. You're like, they like love him for it. We love him. He's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
literally.
He's like,
well, I have to give a fuck. And I do give a lot of fucks. And I do actually try to be a really good person. I'm like, Ashley, I don't have any terrible beliefs. I don't think I'm a bad person. And I am never going to say everything that you love. You know, I dare anybody to put out 180 episodes of anything and never say something that offends another person. You just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I at least try, and I try to be as open and honest. And I would never say like to somebody, I would never give relationship advice. We talk about this a lot, like do this thing, because I'm different than you. My life is different than yours. All I can say is here's my experience. Here's how I would have done something differently. Here's some books I've read about ways I would change the way that I act, you know, and hopefully you take something good from it.
Yeah, totally.
yeah, with the relationship stuff, with people asking for advice, I'm sure people ask you for advice all the time. Like in your DMs and stuff. What is like the one thing that they always ask for advice on?
Oh my God. I mean, it's funny. Okay. Also, we just did a whole episode on advice and like where people go wrong, and they give you, we did this, we chatted about this with you guys earlier on our episode of like, people give you advice based solely on their experience, not even based on like, you know, common knowledge about the people, like the way people are built, or that everybody's different, or like conventional wisdom. Like
it's just like
well, with me and Brad.
with me, with my
I'm not you and Brad.
So we have a lot of feelings on advice in general, but we also feel like we try not to speak from that place. And I don't think that we do. We've learned a lot at this point, and we speak on that and sharing our experiences just because people want to know them. And here's what worked for me. It may not work for you. I lately have seen in the DMs, I can't answer them all, but we've been really busy, but I'll still go in there and kind of just see what people are saying. A lot of like really cute, like I'm going on my first date ever, or like I'm going on a date, like how they think they call me mom. It's fine. It's like, they're like, Mom, what do I wear? How do I act? Like, what do I say? It's just like really cute. Help me out. Like, encourage me for like a date, kind of. I've seen that a little bit more recently. What have you been getting?
I think Ashley and I get like separate DMs just based on like, you know, our life experiences. I was engaged and I broke off an engagement. So I get a lot of people saying like, I don't know if it's right. And like, how do I make that call? And I'm like, well, first of all, I never had to make that call. He left me. So I'm fortunate. So I can't advise you, but like, again, your life is different than mine, and your experiences are different, and what you want out of life is different. So, you know, if this doesn't feel like the truest version of you and the thing that'll make you the happiest, then maybe you walk away from it. But I don't know your whole story. You know, I'd have to ask a million questions. And I love to give advice on like, what should you wear? Which restaurant should you go to? Stuff that's deeper that I need to have like a session with you about. I try to not give you advice about. And all I can say is, here's what I've done in my life and here's what's worked for me. And hopefully you can take some examples from that.
Yeah. And a lot of I get a lot of how do I hit on this guy or how do I reach out to this guy? And I'm like, you listen to the podcast is what you do. Because this is what we do. I'm just tell me you don't listen to the podcast without telling me. Because we try so hard to actually answer those things that we get asked over and over on this show that we put out and put so much work into. You know what I mean? So
I absolutely agree.
I'll send people an episode. I'm like, here it is.
Subscribe and review while you're there.
Yeah. I get a bunch of sexy questions.
Stuff.
You get a lot of dog stuff? I get a lot of how do I suck dick better? I get a lot of blowjob. Okay, I talk about it a lot on the podcast. I like doing it. So I get a lot of how do I suck dick better? I get a lot of two things. I just pegged my boyfriend for the first time. I get tons of those every week. I just sucked my boyfriend's dick to completion for the first time. I get a lot of those. Wow, and I'm always just so proud that
my DMs are boring.
Ours are a wild place.
Wow.
And stuff happens
amazing.
I don't want to give away too much, but we just had this, because I don't want these people to be identified, but we just had a live show where stuff went kind of crazy. We brought somebody up on stage. We brought a girl up on stage for something. We brought a guy up on a stage for something. And they ended up hooking up after the show.
Shut up.
Wild. Crazy. And then she messaged me and she was like, he was really good in bed. I'm like, this is too much. They tell us so much.
They roll over from sex. This girl took her strap-on off and then DM'd me. It's so crazy to me. They're in bed and they're I just had to tell Ashley and Raina.
If they squirt for the first time, Raina and I are in so many group DMs with strangers. It's just
my God,
so crazy that a stranger would be like, oh my God, I just squirted. I got to tell Ashley and Raina. It's so flattering.
I'm really honored by it because I had a really positive sexual experience growing up. Sex was a positive thing. I was allowed to talk about it in the home. I wasn't telling my mom who I was having sex with, but my mom's a therapist. My mom would talk to me about sex, that it's normal and natural. I had friends I could talk that stuff about, but not everybody has that experience. And I don't even know where I would have listened to that kind of stuff growing up. And so I'm so honored when somebody feels excited to tell me that.
Yeah.
It's how cool is it that somebody feels they finally have a place in the world to put that information. And that's so cool that somebody wants to try something weird in the bedroom because Ashley and I suggested it. And then they tell you that it worked. And I get choked up when I think about it because I'm just I'm so excited. I encouraged you to come better,
How has that comfort with talking about sex influenced or had an effect on your relationships throughout the years, where I can imagine you've been with people who don't necessarily feel comfortable with talking about it, but I just think it's such a beautiful thing and is so liberating and more natural than not talking about it, but most of us don't.
You should never be with somebody that shames you for the way that you feel, the things that you want to try. I know that everybody is not as sexually experienced. I know that everybody didn't grow up in the same. I grew up in a Jewish family in the Northeast. Some people grew up in the Bible Belt in a very conservative place, and their friends don't talk about that, and their significant others don't. But I dated somebody, and I've talked about this on the podcast, but he said to me, why do we always have to talk about this stuff all the time? And he kind of shamed me for wanting to talk about getting freakier with each other. And I'm this is for you, buddy. This is for you to enjoy. And ultimately, that's just not my person. And that's somebody who's not going to open up sexually the way I want him to. And that's okay. Those are his boundaries. You don't ever deserve to be made to feel badly about what you want sexually and what your boundaries are. They just might not match up with the person you're with. And that's okay.
Were you asking about the podcast?
No.
Talking about talking about guys in the podcast?
No, I think it's just in life. Because it's just a comfort that I think I perceive would intimidate some people or maybe trigger something in them where they felt they always had to be private about it or didn't feel comfortable.
Right. And and I love that we kind of discuss that with you guys too about how you handle it with your relationships too. I don't know. I feel Raina and I are just gonna, be respectful, but also gravitate towards people that are gonna be cool about it. I dated a guy that works in comedy as well. And he has a podcast and of course we were talking about each other on the podcast, but kind of some stuff was being run by each other. I was going to tell that one story. He was oh, same, and then I think sometimes it's a little bit of mental gymnastics, of let's pretend this was somebody else. You know what I mean? Let's just keep the stories vague. The point is still there. It doesn't need to be,
What was the story? What was the story that you told that you guys both told?
Oh, we went on this date in early 2020. COVID was here, but it wasn't crazy yet. Like we hadn't even gone off to Australia yet. So this was like a date, like maybe like early, like February, whatever, 2020. And we'd been out all night, and then we ended up at this bar. I think is it called like Whiskey Tavern?
I don't remember.
know. There's this bar. It's kind of like Chinatown area-ish, like kind of just downtown. And am I going to remember this right? We were there with a group of people, and I was there with a girlfriend there was this crazy bartender. His name was Dash, and he like had a mic. No one was in the bar. He was just like emceeing the night from behind the bar. Like he would be like, "It's this couple's birthday," and it was like the only other couple in the bar. Like it was like, okay, like it was just wild. I think he just wanted to be an entertainer.
Yes.
And I was there with a girlfriend, again, a big group, and her name was Stella. And Dash gets on the mic, and he was like, "Hey everybody," which is just our group. Again, it was like a Monday night. It was a Monday night. Now that I remembered. Yes. And he's like, "Make some noise, Virgo season." No, and so he was like, "Stella here just told me that it's her dream in life to take a Jello shot off of me." And I look at Stella, and she's like, "I didn't say that." Like,
Oh my God, I love Dash.
she clearly could have just like walked away, but she was like, "All right." And I'm kind of at the end of the bar watching this happen. Dash he takes whipped cream, he takes a shirt off, takes whipped cream, puts it on each nipple, and then pours a shot of Jameson in his belly button and lays down on the bar first and pours a shot of
belly
Jameson.
button that can fit a shot of Jameson.
Right. This was so
Say no
before
more.
COVID.
That's
right?
actually how COVID started.
Tell me it's before. Yeah. We that night, because COVID was still a thing we joked about, which is crazy to remember. But like this was early February, maybe even late January. Like people weren't taking it seriously yet here. And so we were like making jokes like, "Ha ha ha, we're patient zero," whatever. And Dash was. And she like did it, and he like put the mic to his belly button. So you just heard like a little slurp. Like she did this little slurp, and then it just like wasn't enough for Dash. And he grabbed a candle off the bar and threw the hot wax on his bare chest.
Oh my God.
So my date, the guy I was dating at the time, like we were like, "Oh my God." And we just looked at it, and he goes, "He did that for him." Like it was so
100%.
funny. Like he didn't get enough.
He all of a sudden starts to do all of his kinks, and you're just like, what?
He's got a ball gag in. He puts nipple clamps on.
Yes.
Like with the whipped cream. No, it was just this insane night. And like, it was such a, he and I were both comedians. Like we were like laughing all night about it. Like it almost made the rest of our night so much hotter because we had this like hilarious story.
Yes.
And I was like, I told on the podcast. He told on his podcast. We both listened to each other tell it. Like it was just
Did people tell? Like,
very
people like,
funny.
"Are you dating this person?" Did anyone put it together?
Not really. I mean, his podcast, people don't, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's more of a hobbyist thing.
Yes.
I don't know. People probably knew we dated. It wasn't like a big public thing.
yeah.
We didn't date that long, but
Yeah.
that was like one of my favorite date stories just in life in
Yes.
general.
Want to know what I've been gifting people? Athletic Greens. I have been taking Athletic Greens for about 3 years now. This is your comprehensive multivitamin in powder form. You mix it with cold water, super yummy, and it has over 75 vitamins and minerals. It is made in New Zealand. It is a green superfood blend that is of the highest quality bioavailable ingredients in just one single scoop. So this is going to support energy, your digestion, a healthy immune system. And so if you find yourself taking just tons and tons and tons of supplements, I highly recommend kind of leaning it out to a few and then Athletic Greens every single day. I take this the first thing in the morning. It's what hits my stomach first. And I just feel incredible. My energy is through the roof. And I know with fall and winter coming, just cold season in general, I want to support my immune system. So I am just loading up and I'm excited for you to try. I'm literally giving this to everyone I love. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you an immune supporting free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. This is major, actually. I think this is such a nice gift. If you go to athleticgreens.com/almost30 right now. So it's athleticgreens.com/almost30. And when you subscribe, you will get that 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. I can't wait for you to try. Let me know. I'm excited to hear how you're feeling. Again, one more time, athleticgreens.com/almost30. I'm excited for you because you're about to upgrade your cabinet pharmacy with Beekeepers Naturals. We've had Carly on the podcast. She's coming on again, so stay tuned. She's the founder of Beekeepers Naturals, and we had the most fascinating conversation about bees the first time she was on. You must listen to it, but these products are going to truly help you, your immune system, stay well all year long. Every single morning, I spray the Bee Immune Throat Spray in the back of my throat. Not only does it taste amazing, but truly works. So this has bee propolis. This is an all-star ingredient that contains antioxidants and other immune boosting compounds in every single spritz. I found it to be so effective, especially if I'm feeling a little something coming up in my throat. So this is great for throat soothing. It is great for your immune system. So a little spritz every single morning is what I do. And then I take the bee-powered superfood honey in the morning. Sometimes I'll drizzle it on my toast or on a superfood bowl. This will support your energy with this medicinal grade immune supporting honey made with antioxidants and other potent ingredients from nature. Y'all, bees get their energy from honey. So just imagine what it's going to do for you, okay? And for cold and cough season, I need you to listen up. Their Be Better Nighttime Cough Syrup is unreal. This is a blend that will support your immune system, super soothing ingredients that will get you your much needed sleep when you have a cough. So in this formulation, there is elderberry, there is bee propolis, melatonin, grapeseed, buckwheat honey. It is delicious and super, super effective. Krista and I have been major fans of Beekeepers Naturals for a long time now because their products are clean, they are effective, they are third-party tested for all pesticides, and they're dedicated to sustainable beekeeping and helping to save the bees. And of course, female-founded. Gotta shout it out. Go Carly. So if you'd like to try Beekeepers Naturals, they are offering an exclusive offer to our listeners only. So you can go to beekeepersnaturals.com/almost30 or enter the code almost30 to get 25% off your first order. That's beekeepersnaturals.com/almost30 or enter the code almost30 at checkout to get 25% off your order. Update that pharmacy in your cabinet. I highly recommend starting with the Hive Pharmacy. It's a nice little bundle. And of course, I would stock up on the Be Better Nighttime Cough Syrup and the Bee Soothed Elderberry Lozenges for that cold season. All right, y'all, enjoy. Again, the code is almost30 at beekeepersnaturals.com/almost30.
Therapy has been something that has changed both Lindsey and I's life. I was really hesitant before I found therapy. I didn't know what to expect. I felt scared. I felt like I was going to be judged. And now I realize how important therapy has been to me. It has been one of the foundations of my personal growth. And we're so glad to be working with BetterHelp because they make therapy accessible and they make it easy to communicate your way.
Yes. So I love it because it's super, super affordable. You can do it from anywhere in the world, and they have different offerings. So if you're looking for a specific type of therapist, they will have it for you, and they make it really easy to change your therapist if you're not clicking. So this is your sign to finally get a therapist support. Honestly, it has changed both of our lives. And we've just seen improvements in every aspect of our life, our career, our relationships, our relationship with ourselves. So this is your sign, y'all. Go to betterhelp.com/almost30 and you can get 10% off your first month. 10% off your first month when you go to betterhelp.com/almost30. And if you haven't already, please text us 380-600-3030. Text the word BETTER to get the discount information for BetterHelp texted directly to your phone. Again, the number is 380-600-3030. This is our direct partnerships line where we make it super easy for you to have all of our discount codes sent right to your phone. Coming to you live from the day I got my period. And I just want to say I am so grateful that I have up-leveled my period care. I use Flex, and I'm excited to share it with you. If you haven't heard of Flex, they are innovating period care with products that are body safe, made for comfort, really easy to use, and just keep you moving and doing your thing during that time of the month. I'm obsessed with the Flex disc. They also have a Flex cup. I'll talk about it in a minute, but the Flex disc is a one-time use menstrual disc that fits perfectly inside your body. It can be worn up to 12 hours. It holds as much as 3 super tampons. So I just love it because I can wear it all day. I don't have to worry about leaking or anything like that. And it's just really easy to use. It's unlike any other period product you've ever seen. I probably took a few tries to just kind of get used to inserting it. And then from there, you're a pro. And you can wear it during sex. So that's really awesome. It's mess free. Your white sheets will definitely thank you. And this is really important, they create 60% less waste compared to pads and tampons. So yes, you consider using Flex, your environmental good deed. If you are a cup person, if you like a menstrual cup, the Flex cup is awesome. It's reusable. Cosmo rated it #1, actually. The patented pull tab makes Flex the only cup on the market that removes like a tampon. It's really awesome. It's so easy. So you basically already know how to use it. So if you'd like to try Flex, please go to flexfits.com/almost30VIP. You got that? It's flexfits.com/almost30VIP and use code almost30VIP for 20% off Flex disc starter kits or 10% off your first Flex cup plus free shipping in the US. That's code almost30VIP at flexfits.com/almost30VIP. Coming to you live from the day I got my period. And I just want to say I am so grateful that I have up-leveled my period care. I use Flex, and I'm excited to share it with you. If you haven't heard of Flex, they are innovating period care with products that are body safe, made for comfort, really easy to use, and just keep you moving and doing your thing during that time of the month. I'm obsessed with the Flex disc. They also have a Flex cup. I'll talk about it in a minute, but the Flex disc is a one-time use menstrual disc that fits perfectly inside your body. It can be worn up to 12 hours. It holds as much as 3 super tampons. So I just love it because I can wear it all day. I don't have to worry about leaking or anything like that. And it's just really easy to use. It's unlike any other period product you've ever seen. I probably took a few tries to just kind of get used to inserting it. And then from there, you're a pro. And you can wear it during sex. So that's really awesome. It's mess free. Your white sheets will definitely thank you. And this is really important, they create 60% less waste compared to pads and tampons. So yes, you consider using Flex, your environmental good deed. If you are a cup person, if you like a menstrual cup, the Flex cup is awesome. It's reusable. Cosmo rated it #1, actually. The patented pull tab makes Flex the only cup on the market that removes like a tampon. It's really awesome. It's so easy. So you basically already know how to use it. So if you'd like to try Flex, please go to flexfits.com/almost30VIP. You got that? It's flexfits.com/almost30VIP and use code almost30VIP for 20% off Flex disc starter kits or 10% off your first Flex cup plus free shipping in the US. That's code almost30VIP at flexfits.com/almost30VIP. We found this really cool company where you can enter to win unbelievable prizes and experiences, and at the same time donate to charity. So here's how Omaze works. It's OMAZE. You enter for the chance to win something amazing like a Tesla or karaoke with Charlize Theron. Okay, go to space with Virgin Atlantic. And at the same time, you can donate to support great causes. It's super fun and easy, and it's an easy way for nonprofits to raise money and for you to win huge prizes. So cool, right? Pretty easy. Here's how it works. Go to omaze.com/almost30, OMAZE.com/almost30, and select the Miami Dream House. Okay. This is like luxe, location, style, would be so freaking fun. Or you can pick a different experience of your choosing. Once you've selected your prize, choose a donation amount from $10 to $150. The more you donate, the more entries you'll get. Through your donations, Omaze has raised more than $150 million to support over 350 nonprofits around the world. Omaze was named in Fast Company's 2020 Most Innovative Companies and featured on Good Morning America, The Today Show, and Stephen Colbert. All right. Amazing, doing really great work over at Omaze. So to enter today for your chance to win the Miami Dream House or other life-changing prizes and experiences at omaze.com/almost30. Plus receive 20 extra entries when you enter code almost30. Okay, last time, omaze.com/almost30.
You know what I haven't told you? Kane, my boyfriend, has a podcast, and he has recorded multiple episodes recently while I'm just like in the bedroom and he's in the living room, and he's like recording. So I have had like a bunch of experiences recently listening to him talk about our relationship while you're in the podcast while I'm in the other room.
That is so funny.
And it's so funny. Like, I feel like it's either like people's dream or their nightmare to like hear their boyfriend just like talk about their relationship. And Kane would never say anything disparaging about me like publicly, I don't think, because I would never do that to him either. But it was such a funny experience to listen to him talk about like me meeting his family and what they all thought about me, and like me be in the other room. So it's funny to like be so public that like he's like, I don't even, I'm gonna release this. She's also in the other room. I don't fucking care.
Like she's in the other room. She can hear me. I mean, it's you like it or you don't. It's hot to you or it's not. I mean, I think there is a line of liking it. Clearly I want someone to like it. Clearly when I listened to that guy, for example, talk about our date on his podcast, it was like a turn on to me because he was saying nice things. It felt like he liked me. Like I liked hearing it. That's probably someone's nightmare. They just don't want to be talked about. Right. And then there's like another line where it just becomes narcissism and they just are like getting off so much that you're talking about them and they're like, talk about me more, talk about me more.
Have you had that?
No, I can envision a world. That's my fear is that someone dates me because they like it too much and they want to hear themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes, completely.
So there's just so many different levels to it, but I think the happy medium is obviously someone that understands what you do, not that they do the exact same thing, but they get it and it's like mutually agreed upon.
It's really, I had this really like, we're not together, but we had this like really nice moment where Ashley and I told this like very funny story about an ex of mine, and him and I were like on a trip, and I was like, do you want to hear what I said about you on the show? And I like queued it up. We were taking a drive, and like I've never heard him laugh so hard to like listen to me and Ashley talk about this story, and it was like it's sometimes like a nice moment, but listen, it's not for everybody, and Ashley and I are pretty, I mean, you know right away that we're going to talk about you in the podcast. You're either into it or you're not. So, I mean, I think some people, I'd be their worst nightmare. And that's okay. Like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
What about meeting the parents? I'm curious, as like, I feel like when you're younger, there's something about meeting the parents that is very different than when you are like your own woman. I can't describe it.
When you're a grown up too.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're like, I'm not a kid going to like.
You're not saying Mr. or Mrs.
Yeah.
Right. You're calling them by a first name.
Or maybe you are, but like it's
I still do that
Patricia.
for some reason.
different.
It feels a little less pandering, I guess, than when you're like a child. I don't know. It was really, first of all, I would say that like, as I've gotten older, you just learn the importance of like knowing more about those people before you meet them. Like I had talked to Kane's sister on the phone before that. I knew all about her kids and also Kane's brother and his girlfriend. And you know a lot about their lives. And I think that you can ask as many questions as possible before you go about what are their politics, what's religion like for them, what are their boundaries, And at least for me, my experience was really positive. I loved his sister and her husband and their kids, and it was really nice. And he met my my whole family a couple weeks ago, and same thing. I sort of talked to my family about what he's like. I talked to him about what all my family members are like. I don't think there were any like huge surprises, but it's really special to watch your partner like interact with your family and get along. And it was nice for me to watch him and my brother and my sister-in-law just like joke around. We went to a bar mitzvah, which is very similar to a wedding if you guys have never been. And we all just like,
What? Just defined bar mitzvah.
yeah, not everybody knows what a bar mitzvah is.
You guys aren't familiar.
Permis has ever heard of them. It was nice to watch him interact with my dad. My dad was like, what kind of comedy do you like to do? What kind of stories do you like to tell on stage? And it's nice to look at your partner and see them get along with the people in your life that you love and see everybody like them. And it meant so much to me when I left for like my brother and my sister-in-law to both text me and be like, he was great. You seem really happy. You seem to complement each other really well. But yeah, it's different than when I was younger because I was less, I guess, intimidated. Yes. And then to have somebody meet my family, I think there's less like, I hope they like him. It's just like, you are going to like him. I picked a nice person. I'm bringing him home because I know that you're going to respect him. Yes. You're going to like him. I'm not asking your permission to be with him. I'm telling you that I'm going to be with him. So all those things sort of like change as you get older.
Yes.
Yeah, Justin, my husband, my mom is like very blunt and very direct, and he like is just so. It's like so important that like people know you well enough to like understand the intricacies of your family and be able to like ride and like just like when my mom first met Justin, he was like, she was like, so Justin, what's your major in college? Like, and he's like, oh, I was human resources. She's like, oh, bullshit major. She's like, just like Krista, bullshit major, two bullshit majors.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah,
she's
like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Just like, oh yeah, both of you, bullshit majors. And he's like he just like rides with it. He's like, whatever, dude, don't care. But like anyone else would literally die. But it's your family and it's part of you. So you have to be like, my mom's wild. She says some wild shit.
We talk a lot about the importance of prepping somebody.
Like,
yes.
Like my mom will probably do some fucking wild shit every time. But Ashley and I talk a lot about the importance of like prepping your partner before you go home. And like, that's how you feel like they're on your team is them saying like, my uncle is super racist and we're not going to go hang out with him.
Yes.
Or
whatever the family dynamic is. It's like getting them on board, being like, hey, this is sort of, but I feel like women know the dynamics of family and men kind of are just like, this is my family. And they don't understand like,
they never
this is
prep.
a problem. Like whatever's going on is like a problem. They don't really understand it because they are like, I think we're so analytical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think we're very like intuitive in those family settings where we're like, something's a little off here, but okay. And they're like, this is just how I grew up.
Yes.
Like and it's not bad or good. It's just
sometimes
like
it's bad. It's like
but they need to have we always say that your partner needs to have your back. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where somebody says some really fucked up shit and my partner just like lets it. Like I don't need you to start a fight, but like I need you to manage those situations if I'm in your family's setting. You know what I mean? Like I want you to have like a little bit of a backbone when it comes to your family. Again, we don't need to start like World War III at Thanksgiving dinner, but like you just want to feel secure that you're not going to be put in a really uncomfortable situation where you're kind of like enabling some terrible things happening and your partner is like not controlling the situation. I just want to feel safe in an environment like that. Also, I've never really dated somebody that it was a huge issue, but I dated one guy pretty seriously and it was pre like 2016 election, so the world was just a little bit less divided, I feel like, and well, it depends on how you look at it, but his family had different values but he shared mine, and I feel like he was not scared to kind of like manage a situation should it arise, and I just felt really, or if something, there was a time when we wanted to go like stay somewhere else, and he had stay in a hotel and like he took care of it. You just don't want to feel like you're out on this island by yourself when you're in your partner's home. Like you should be kind of like a unit.
And you asked like what the question we get the most is, I mean, absolutely during especially the Trump administration was my partner's family feels differently than I do. And through COVID also, maybe my partner feels differently about vaccines. And how do I manage that? And I mean, it's every situation is one size fits one, but you don't have to go be around people that you don't like or respect. No one's making you do that. And you should have a partner that empowers you to, like Ashley said, feel safe and feel like somebody backs you up.
Yes.
We think like you're in charge of this relationship. Relationships supposed to look however you want it to look. Like when it comes to meeting the family, holidays, things like that. Like do what works for you. Like there's no rule book that says like you have to spend Thanksgiving with his family and Christmas with yours. Like it doesn't.
Yes.
None of that. People get wrapped up in like what they think they're supposed to do and how it's supposed to look and what their friends are doing. Expectations, exactly. Like we were talking about with you guys earlier. Like. Do what works for you. Like if you don't want to spend this holiday with them because you'd rather be with your family, go do their summer vacation with them or whatever works so everybody feels like their needs are being met. But it doesn't have to look like the movie said it did or
that was with Justin and my husband. Like because my parents are separated and his parents are together. So like holidays I actually spend with my family. Like I'll just go to whoever and he'll just go with his family. And we've done maybe one holiday together and we actually don't do holidays together because he's an only child. So it's like he wants deep one-on-one time with his family. I want one-on-one time with my family. And like whenever we're together, we're so like just together that I want to still have that like quality time. And that was like something, it was like we want to redefine for ourselves. Like it doesn't look everyone else is like, yay, wake up on Christmas morning together. But like, we just were like, this works for us and this works for like the people in our life that we love.
Yeah. And you have a million other special moments together, you know, like you will pick what is valuable to you. And like, listen, Kane has known since day one, I spend Christmas with the Heseltines. That is what my tradition is. That's what's important. Come or don't. Ashley's family.
Way.
I spend Christmas with them. It's an important tradition to me. He can come or not. But like, I would like laugh so hard at somebody that was like, you guys didn't spend.
He's not coming.
I'm coming. That's what's important. But I think that like, I don't need somebody to like, what you're going to look at my Instagram and be like, I can't believe you didn't spend Christmas with your boyfriend. I don't care what you think. That's your relationship. 100%. So holidays are a specific thing that I just don't care. Like I'll do what feels good to me. And I hope you do what feels good to you.
And holidays are such a funky, like me and my friends are always messaging, like my friends from home, my sister were like, why am I so depressed? I feel like on holidays, I'm like, if I feel some type of way, it is like never joyful. I don't know. I go through something during holidays where I'm like, dude,
it's like a weird expectation portal.
100%.
It's like the holidays are supposed to be the best time of year. It's supposed to be like fun quality time with family, and if it's not what you expect it to be, it's like, oh my God. And a lot of comparison comes in. I feel like, so you're comparing to, your friend who's going to Aruba with their family and they like have dinners every night with each other, and you're like, I do that once a year. So it's like, it could just be a tidal wave of emotion.
Well, everything's amplified. Like all the little things that there's weird family dynamics, they're like times 10 because of the expectations, because everybody's together, because it's a holiday. But I just want to say, Krista, that's incredible that you guys have been together that long and you don't do that together. I like can't like hype that enough. That's like just really important. Like the thought of not spending the holidays with my family makes me have like a ton of anxiety. I was always so terrified my brother would marry somebody that like lived far away and he wouldn't be with us at the holidays. Like it's so important. And I mean, whatever, it all works out. Who we married and where she lives and her family comes, and it's we now we have traditions together. It's incredible. But yeah, that's a great message. Like, it doesn't have to look this way.
It's just different. And then, like, speaking of, like, things looking different, like, you guys supporting each other and, like, you getting a partner and, like, your just evolution through everything you do. Like, what does that look like so that we can show people, like, you can support your friends in, like, the different phases and stages of their life?
This is my question. How I support Raina?
No, I support. How do you support me? No, I mean, Raina's like
Yes,
she does. I guess all I can do is like answer this for myself. I mean, I have picked a partner that understands that like work comes first. This business, this community of Girls Gotta Eat is gonna always come first. That doesn't mean you are less important. It just means like I've built this business and that's how my life is, and that's who my life is going to work with. And he understands that like sometimes I say I'm gonna be home at 2 and I come home at 6:30 in the afternoon. That's just how it's going to be. We were on tour. I didn't really talk to him much for 4 days. That's just how it's going to be. And when I'm here for him. And I think that Ashley and my friendship is fine. She knows I put the business first. And if I have times when I can't, she would be fine with that too. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've had a boyfriend for not that long either. I mean, we met when I didn't. We built the business. And I don't know. I just think you can support each other through different phases of life. And, you can be happy for other people's happiness and success. And I don't know. I don't know. How do you answer that question?
I mean, it's like it's a two-way street of like both parties. Like luckily Raina is like so great at this and she's still prioritizing like the business and our friendship, not deprioritizing her boyfriend, but she's balanced. So if she didn't, then it would be a problem. You know, if she was just like not around and like, you know, letting things slip and just wanting to be with her boyfriend all the time, it would fucking suck. And I don't know how I could carry the load of like, you know, but luckily that's not the case. So I just think it's like both parties. I mean, she just picked the perfect person. Like Raina dated people before that I was like, no, I feel uncomfortable. I feel like I feel like one guy, I just like, he was trying to really get into our business, like be a part of it. And there was another guy that just felt like didn't give a shit and kind of just wanted to like take Raina away from this like life. And I just didn't like it. I had this weird feeling surrounding it, and then our aura reader agreed. Like she felt it too.
When you were dating him, you brought up the picture.
Was I dating him?
It was over. I think.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
She like she put my feelings into perspective on like why I didn't like him, and I didn't really see a long-term future with him and Raina, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But like I feel like if I had started to progress, I would have had some anxiety surrounding it. Yeah. And I mean, Kane came along and like. It just couldn't be better. I was like telling my other best friend Kate about it. I was like, I think that they will work and last long term, but like if they don't, she needs to find another person just like him because he is so not threatened by me and our business, and he and I have a relationship as well. Like it's just he just gets it, and he's wonderful to be around. Like it's a lot of him too, just being like the right match, you know? So and it's easy to support.
And we have a good foundation. I mean, we talk about it a lot. We've talked about it on your show before, but like, I love our business relationship. I think that she compliments me really well. I think that like we both work really hard. We would die if we disappointed the other person. And we just have always been aligned on the same goals. We're really lucky. Like we always joke, like if one of us wanted to do reality TV and the other person was like, absolutely not, that like we wouldn't know what to do. Or like we do all these live shows, and Ashley's been a comedian for years. If I had been like, I will not get on a stage, you know, what that would be like. But we're just lucky that we like the same goals, I guess. Oh my God, Azul's being so cute with my.
I know.
You guys, everything matches right now because it's the black and the pink.
I know. It actually fits. It's like the next.
Azul is on the couch.
Azul, I can't get over.
He loves to be in my face.
Something happened when I adopted my cats with animals. I just can't get over them. I love them so much.
Special guy.
He's so special. I'm so grateful he has a forever home with you.
Me too. He's like the love of my life. Well, second love of my life. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't answer it. I think about Raina like potentially getting serious with that other guy. And I just don't know how it would have looked. Like, I think she would have had to, you know, be the one kind of doing the heavy lifting of like managing, but like, I just didn't think he was like a good match, but I wouldn't have tried to like sabotage the relationship. I just don't know what would have happened. Like, I just haven't really had to worry about it. You
create a fake account and you like try and get into like, you try and like hook him.
No, Ashley's like, I fucked your man.
Yes.
That person probably just wouldn't be a long-term match for me, you know? Like, I think that you should be with people that make you happy. You shouldn't feel like you should always have to explain yourself to other people. Somebody that fits into your life in a really nice way. My current partner does, and that's great. And I feel lucky, but we had a good solid base before that.
But Raina also dated this guy, like briefly, that lived in another city, and then we went there, and then I like fucked his best friend and roommate,
as you do,
and then I started kind of seeing him. So we were like seeing these best friends for like a minute in time. This was summer 2019.
It was exactly 2 years ago.
Right before we met you guys, and like we were. It was so weird. They were best friends and roommates. They worked together. They were
like a fantasy.
And I mean, it was
until it wasn't. So him and I broke up in the beginning of August, and Ashley was still like seeing this guy, and he was gonna come like visit her here.
Well, they're both supposed to come. We had a like weekend plan with the four of us. It was going to be a Labor Day weekend.
Oh my God.
And I was a little like, it felt like a little too much. I'd hung out with the guy one time. Like we were talking in the phone, but I also wasn't like, and then that one time I fell in love with him. Like I was still kind of like, this was like a funny joke, I thought. And now he's coming here, you know? And so Raina ended things with her guy, and I was still talking to mine. He had booked a flight. He had like, you know, flight confirmation. He was coming here. And I was like, I just got to break up with him. Like Raina, I feel like Raina was actually worried that then I would like continue to date him You know what I mean? And it would just be fucking weird.
She's
but
like, no, I broke up, so you have to break
so
up.
we did like a best friend breakup. Like it was just ridiculous.
Did you make him cancel his flight?
I paid him back for the flight.
That was sweet.
He was wonderful, and I didn't again hung out with the guy one weekend total, and I still wanted to have a phone call. I didn't feel right being like, I just don't see a future with this. I mean, so I was like, I'd love to talk on the phone. He was so understanding. And then he was like, this is because of my friend, right? Like he was like, we're going to blame him. And he was so great. And he really insisted I didn't pay him, and I still Venmo'd him. I was like, please tell me how much the flight was.
Wait,
that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, this was before COVID, before you could just get a refund like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
Freaking love that.
it worked out, and I have nothing bad to say. It was all just really mature.
Yeah.
But it was
basically
just
you miss
funny.
him and you want to get back together.
If you're listening, we're coming to your city soon.
Basically, he's the one that got away.
They were really nice guys. We did a great episode called "You're Not the One." So I'm not. About
Damn.
just about when you meet somebody that's
Holy
just a
shit.
nice person that just checks a lot of boxes
Yes.
and they're kind and you get along, but they're not going to be like the love of your
I'm
life.
always
That was my ex.
I was always thankful
People were
for
like,
those.
my best friend was like, I mean, he's amazing. Like, I think I should date him. Like after we broke up, I was like, maybe, like Caitlin from home.
Yes.
But he was like that, like checked every box, like super sweet, gorgeous, like successful, all these things. So I just like, it just wasn't.
It wasn't
Wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it wasn't for me. It's like anyone could have him. Wasn't for me, but it is important when you know that like there's something else that you're able to be like, I feel confident enough in myself or like in my path that I'll find that person that is a fit for me. And that it's like, it doesn't even matter about the list really, you know, because like your person will have things on your list for sure, but then they'll have things that aren't on your list.
Listen, he was like a big nature person, okay? And he wanted to like go hiking and he was like on this
kept sending us nature
nature
photos.
pics.
I was like,
I love him.
and
I was like,
I love him.
Okay, listen, guys. They wanted to go
Tell 'em about the
camping,
other
and there was one
podcast.
weekend he kept sending me all these photos of nature, and I was like, I can't get it
You're
up
like,
for
I
this
take
anymore.
dick
Like,
pics.
I have no more adjectives
Only.
to apply to these photos. Like, he looks beautiful. Congratulations.
I know. I mean, and I do listen. If I was super into that guy, Raina would have been like, "You should pursue this."
Yeah, I didn't really tell her to break up with him.
But I remember one time when I realized I had to end it. Like Raina had already done her breakup. When I realized I had to end it, he and I were on the phone. He was recapping this camping thing he'd done, and I was texting with Raina from my computer the whole time. Like, no, totally. That sounds awesome. Like, I'm just like, I was like, I'm a shitty person. Like, I need to break up with this guy. I don't care about his name. I'm texting Raina from my iMessage while he's telling me about this beautiful trip he took. I don't give one shit.
Like, she's a great listener. You know, he's like, wow, she's a very attentive listener.
We just didn't care. We wanted different things. They did. We had different fucking hobbies. Okay, if your whole life is like nature
Yeah.
life,
And-
I'm not your girl.
Yes.
yeah, if you're going to Patagonia more than you're,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
what
it's
that
also
is.
that's fine too.
I
Like
know.
Raina and I we talked about this in a recent episode of this whole opposites attract, which that can be interpreted in a multitude of ways. You know, like people see opposites in Rain and I, and they think that's why we work so well. And some levels that applies, but if you live a totally different life than somebody, you want totally different things. You know, for a second I was kind of chatting with this guy. He slid in my DMs, and it's not going to work. I mean, he lives across the country. Just all he wants to do is be outside and camp. And that's no shade. I just we are wired completely differently in
Yes.
what we enjoy in life.
Yes.
And that's all it's about. And that's why would you even go down that path? There's not even much meeting in the middle of a guy that literally wants to live in the wilderness and a girl that wants to live in Manhattan and thrives off of the energy here. There's just not, you know, that's the two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I feel like in high school though, and college, it's you're younger and you're I just got new camping gear. And you know what I mean?
know.
When you're younger, you're
Dude,
I'm gonna be
did
that.
the most.
I'd be I love football.
Did the most.
Just
You
a
know
thing
all
for
about
me.
it.
You
100%.
ordered a jersey online.
Yes.
You're wearing it to the next hangout at the bar, and you're like,
Yes.
"What?
Yeah.
I've had it.
I know a lot
forever."
about Jordans. It's just a thing for me. You know, you learn about shit to become that for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're older, you're oh no, this is
Yeah, we have
not
different
it.
lifestyles.
You have your thing, I have mine. And I also think
Yeah.
there's something to be said for really having some separate hobbies and interests. I think that the
Yes.
relationships are when you become the same person, that's unhealthy either. But when it's just more about what brings you joy in life. And if nothing matches up, like I think there's some guys that it's their nightmare to live here. You know what I mean? And that was like my ex. I had this dream that we were going to move together here for a second, which is like, was delusional, like pure delusion. You know, if we would have been miserable here, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like you want a different life. It's just not meant to be.
Yeah. Lifestyle's different. My last person I dated, he wants to like live on a boat off the grid. That's like what he wants. So I'm the exact opposite. That's so funny you say like opposites. Like, yeah, Ashley and I like have opposite skill sets, but we want the same lifestyle and we have the same goals. And that's why our business works together. And that's what you need, I think, in a partner. And I really enjoy having separate hobbies than my boyfriend. He's really into like Marvel and comic books and like nerd shit. And I am like, enjoy movies by yourself. Please go.
Literally.
But, you know, I think at the core, we want the same things. And that's what's important to me.
Which is huge.
So good.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
You guys
I love
are
you
fun.
guys so much.
I love you guys.
Just always, you know, I feel like, just to echo what we said in the beginning, it's like I really feel lucky to be able to be around women who like just truly genuinely inspire us and are always down to do the hard work, like truly like get dirty in the business. And what I mean by that is like touch all parts of the business, which is something that we've done and just appreciate. And then also just like serve from your heart. Like, you know, talking about dick pics is a form of serving from your heart from my perspective. Because
supporting
you know
the
what?
squirting is like from your heart.
Not everyone is brave enough to talk about certain things that, you know, have caused a lot of people a lot of shame. And I just think it sounds silly for me to say this in this way, but I do think it's brave. And I do think it's actually really, really beautiful, like in a community of women to be having these really open, raw conversations around relationships, sex, etc. So
yeah, you even talking about being on tour and being like so anal about things and organized. I'm like, oh my God, those are my girls. 'Cause that is like us.
Yes.
Like if you work with us, it is like dialed.
Well, we want people to feel like we respect their time. And if you come to a show and if you paid money for this, we respect your money, we respect your time, and we respect the time you put to listen to this podcast.
Yes.
But people like will try to call you high maintenance. It's like, how else do you think we got here?
Yes.
Like without it being perfect and on point and no mistakes. Like we, you know, Rain and I try our hard to be nice, but people fuck things up on tour. And we're not scared to tell them like you had one job, you know? And like, if people walk away and they're like, those girls got to eat girls or bitches. It's like, I don't know, man, you fucked up. What'd you expect? Like, this is why we're good at this. 'Cause we're like really want it to be perfect and awesome for the people that paid to come.
Yeah, it's
Amen.
like, I know there is that thing where I've noticed with like talent, it's like, that's why the talent has the team that's kind of the bitch.
Right.
And then the talent can be like, what? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You
They can
do need the middleman.
yeah, they can
the
like be the
buffers.
middleman, which is important. But also too, it's like when you know what you want or how you want to do it, it is hard because it's like you're very, I don't know.
People will
just
try to
very
talk
that
you
way
out
too.
of it.
Well,
Yes.
you're the person that it reflects poorly on.
Yes.
So if everybody
Right.
fucks up, you're still the person that looks bad. So
Yes.
like, don't be afraid to ask for excellence from other people because if you are serving excellence and that's what you want to give your audience, then don't be afraid to ask for that from other people. And if they fuck up, you can nicely tell them. But I want to respect other people's time.
The middleman's important. You're right.
Yes.
Bella's not there yet. We're not having her rip people apart yet.
Dude,
but
I
like
know.
our agent,
Bella.
but our poor
I'm
agent,
on my way
like
to
the
be a
emails that
bitch.
he has to send, Andrew.
Really?
Yeah, but that's,
Well, he's
that's
respected in the
agreed.
industry,
Yes.
so it's but like
Yes.
also, we are nice to work with.
yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
people mess up and
Yes.
just do your job.
Yes.
But we also have had great
You heard it,
experiences, too.
everyone. Do your fucking jobs.
You have one job.
Wait, what are you guys excited about?
Oh my God, we have so many shows coming up. I'm very excited. We're doing a really fun, I don't know when this comes out, but I think we will have been back from Austin. But we have a great tour in Minneapolis, Phoenix, and Denver coming up. We're going to Cancun for a comedy festival.
Shut up.
And then we have two really big holiday shows that we are so excited. We're doing the Beacon Theater in New York City and the Chicago Theater in Chicago. And the Chicago Theater, like when I walk on stage at that venue, like I will fall to the floor crying. So I'm going to do that before the show.
Yeah, it's I mean, and it's like, I mean, it's whatever. It's like 3,600 person theater. It's gonna. It's like
Damn.
it will be the the record. So it'll be like our other record before was at the Welter in LA. So it will be like a achievement, accomplishment. It will most likely sell out. It's well on its way. So like those things matter to, you know, like those things tell you you're doing it right. You know, like we know this is not going to last forever. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe we'll be doing stadiums one day, but like you just kind of, it's validating that you're moving in the right direction. Like we can still fucking sell these theaters out. We can go, we were here before, we're doing a bigger venue now. So it's nice. And it's that people paying to want to come see you and, you know.
Yeah. And anytime somebody comes to a second show or something like that, it's really validating that they want to be part of this community. And I know it sounds cheesy, but I think that, and I say it all the time, I think Girls Gotta Eat so much bigger than us. And so to know that like they've connected with each other, they've made friends through us, they've meetups through us, that they take a piece of our advice, apply it to their relationship, and that they have a better friendship, a better sex life, whatever it is, because of us, it means so much. So to see their faces, to laugh with them, it's like, feels so fucking good again. You know?
The DMs of like, I made friends at the show. I came alone. I like came alone because like
everything.
I you know, I bought a single ticket or my friend bailed and then I made friends. Like that is better than any like, you know, ticket sales we could ever get. Is like that it actually impacted someone's life in a positive way, as more than just laughing and getting drunk.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah. But come and laugh and get drunk, you know?
Yeah, literally.
And come by yourself. Bring your boyfriend, bring your husband, you know, come meet friends. Our community is amazing. So, you know, come to shows, laugh with us.
And
It's
people
really
can
fun.
get tickets on your website.
Yes, it's girlsgottaeatpodcast.com for the whole episode list, live shows, merch. We have the same website designer as you guys. So
Yeah,
of
you
course,
guys know and love Chloe. She did their site, which is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
Yes, this has been so much fun. And then we were also on their show. So as you guys all probably already listen, make sure to listen to that episode. And we'll see you soon. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you so much, Raina. Thank you so much, Ashley. Again, they're Girls Gotta Eat. You can find all Girls Gotta Eat, girlsgottaeat.com. They're on Instagram. They're on tour. They have merch. They're the best.
Truly the best. And thank you to our sponsors for this episode. If you're new to the pod, Krista and I consider ourselves just expert vetters of brands that we declare almost 30 approved, and we use and love all of these brands and products: Beekeepers Naturals, Flex Fit, BetterHelp, Element, and Bowl and Branch have supported this episode. So thank you. Support these brands. You can check out our discount codes in our show notes and on almost30.com. Just scroll down and click on partners. Thank you all for listening. It is a joy to serve you every single week, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you soon. We love you. Bye.